Hi there, it's Rick Baxter with Cost Control Software. In this video, I'm going to do a little presentation for you on the job enhanced billing granule that's available for you to enhance the percent of completion billing and the cost plus. And I'm going to focus on the percent of completion. It's run right from here. The our earned revenue worksheet. But before we actually start there, I need to do a little background for you on this, on how you set this up. So I'm going to open up a job. So I've got a job all set for percent of completion. Let me just kind of review some of the things on this job. Well, first of all, look at this. The contract amount is shown here. So here's the contract amount. Here's the budgeted costs are all shown, and there's the actual cost. So I don't have very much actual cost on this job. And if we look at the statistics, so let's see what percent complete we are. So we're only about 14% complete on the job with that $900 of the 6,508 that was budgeted, and there's just a little materials, but and I don't have any materials posted, but we're going to work on this percent of completion billing, which means I have earned, so you can actually see it down here if I go down a little bit to the contract analysis tab right here. So here's the contract amount. Here's your current percent complete. So basically we have earned about $2,504 on the contract. Now that's assuming that you're billing not cost plus, you're not billing completed contract, you're billing based on percent of completion, and that is how you calculate the invoice amount that's due at this stage. In fact, I may bill actually probably maybe at 15 or 16% complete. Okay, so let's so we got the idea there. I'll show you one other thing on the setup of the job that's important, and that is down here on the enhanced billing section. The default billing task, I have it set. Let's see what this is, 1500. This goes to my revenue. I've got a task called revenue, and so that's where the revenue of the job is going to post to. And then type of billing is percent complete. This is important to have this set to percent complete. The other I mentioned is cost plus. You can certainly do time and material, completed contract lines, you can do milestones. There's all sorts of ways that you can do the billing, but this example is going to be based on percent of completion and what you have earned of the whatever the contract amount is of that job. Okay, so with that in mind, we are pretty well set up to go ahead and generate our invoice for this work. So we'll close out of this job. Remember the number 1004-02 is the job we're working on. So I'm going to go to my worksheet and I'll edit the worksheet, and I don't have any lines in here. So I'm going to create my worksheet lines. If I did have some lines, they would be removed for this new session. So yes, we're going to continue. And I'll just, says the calculation as of date, I'll do it as of the work date, and it needs a document number. I'll just put in a number 1. And the job that I'm going to do, you could do all the jobs at once, but just to keep this kind of simple for you, I really want to just do one job and focus on that one job. So let me pull that information in. Here is the job that we just looked at over in the job list. And you'll see it's got the contract amount showing. Here's the estimated cost. The actual cost is shown, and so just to the right of that, it calculates the percent of completion. Do notice that this is an editable field. Now this is a worksheet. It's fairly wide. It shows hours, estimated hours, actual hours, percent of completion by hours. It's got the if there's any retainage information, it's going to show here, and it shows the billing type as percent of completion. So there's that earned revenue, 2,504.17. I want to change that though, Basically, I'm going to round this up just a little bit. Let's say we want to bill out, because this is what typically do. I don't think you're going to bill at 14.43% completion. Let's say you're going to bill this at 15% complete. Okay, so I can actually put in the 15%, and then it's going to recalculate for me the amount that I need to bill. Here's my new value of the earned revenue, and we're ready to generate our invoice. So one other thing I will show you before I gen the invoice is the billing format. It is important that you set up your billing format. This is, of course, all covered in your user manual, so you'll see the contract amount. We want that to show on the invoice, the percent of completion, the earned revenue, and the billed to date. Now, this is the first invoice. So on successor invoices, it kind of takes what you have billed to date and subtracts that and calculates the current billing amount. Okay, so I think we're set here to go ahead and generate our invoice. Let's just come here to create invoice. You see, it's all pretty straightforward. There's nothing overly complex about this. Just thinking in terms of what percent complete you are on the job, and that's what you've earned. Okay, so I'm going to say create invoice. It'll say, you want to create the invoice? Yes, I do. And let it work away. So invoice one, I'm going to write that number down. 1024 has been created for the job. Do you want to go to the invoice now? Let's do that. Let's go take a look at the invoice, see what it's done. So here is the brings in the customer. It knows who the customer is from the job information. And now here are the lines. Let me bring those, show you all the line items. So we have contract amount. There's that 15% for the percent complete. There's our earned revenue. Billed to date is 0. If it had been some other amount, that would show here, and then it would, the current billing would just be the difference. In this case, where there was no previous billing, so this is our invoice amount. You'll see it down here as well. And this is pretty much, it does bring in, of course, the job number and the reference number here for us as well. So we've got all that information, because we're going to want, the reason this is important, we're going to want this to go back to the job as an invoice, so we know what our job to date invoice amount is, okay, on the statistic window. Okay, that's what this reference will allow the software to do. Okay, so there's the invoice is pretty well set up, and we're going to go ahead and post this to the customer file, because they owe us the money. And we're going to, I just hit post. Do you want to post the invoice? Yes, we do. Dimensions for area. Okay, so let me pause just a minute, get that fixed. Okay, so what I did on the dimension, just so you can see in case you have dimensions set as mandatory, up here in dimensions it was asking for an area. I selected North America. Again, some of my sample data has some of these requirements I wasn't aware of. And now we should be good to post this. Hopefully it'll go. Oh, got another one. Dimension large. Okay, customer group. Let's just fix this. We'll just come in here to customer group. I think it's this one. And what's large? And we'll see if that solves the problem. And now let's post again. Sorry about that. Here we go. So the invoice is now posting. There are quote lines. Do you want to continue? So we'll say yes. Is connected job. Yes. Okay. So the invoice has been posted and moved to the posted sales invoice window. Do you want to open the posted invoice? Well, okay. So now here is the posted sales invoice. And so you could reprint this is where you could send the invoice again to the customer if they complain that they've lost their invoice. You can always send those invoices out again. I'm not going to spend time on the actual formatting of the document. We'll let you adjust that, and there's some nice samples in our brochures about the document. Let's just check the job itself. So I just want to be sure it posted through to the job. So I'm going to come here to the job, and yes, it did. So I can tell that really right here on the screen. Did you notice right there? There's that 2,603.46 under the revenue. This is the actual now, actual revenue. And if we look at our ledger entries, you'll see here is the usage for, I'm sorry, here's the sale for this is the document number, the conveyor, one document, and it should have the price. Right there is the price. And of course, you can always navigate back to that document as well, right from here, and show the related document. So you can get to that posted document that way. So that is a pretty quick, I'm sorry I went fairly quick, but you can always pause the video along the way. That is a quick example of doing a percent of completion billing using the earned revenue worksheet to assist you in generating that invoice based on that percent of completion. Thanks so much for taking a look. Hope this helps you out. Thanks.